Good afternoon, everybody of the Turn One podcast. This is Henry Kravitz, and today I have I have DarryLips with me. Good afternoon, Darry.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, all good. Thanks for having me back.
You're more than welcome to come back. We shall review the year. So, review the year. What was your highlight of the year, or of the season, shall we say?
What my moment?
Yeah, your moment.
When Vettel lost it and changed all the. Basically Sebastian Vettel losing it when he changed all the numbers and stuff and shouted no on the team radio, not like that. Yeah, when he lost it.
Canada.
Amazing. Yeah, that was it. In Montreal, Vettel in Montreal was. I loved it.
Do you think though that just showed his passion for the sport?
No,
you just think he was just being a sport brat.
I think he's losing it.
You think he's losing it?
Yeah, well, you know how I feel about Charles Leclerc.
That's
on
the previous video, isn't it?
Now, Charles Leclerc probably Ferrari's number one.
They did sort of lean towards him, didn't they, last season?
I wasn't a fan, but the man drives the car well, Yeah. And I would consider the 2 seasons. I mean, he got more wins than Vettel, didn't he?
He got more poles than Vettel last season. Yeah, he got more points than Vettel, didn't he? And he got more race wins than Vettel.
Yeah. So, don't know, but yeah, that moment for me, that was great. That was great.
Okay, what was the worst moment then of the season?
God. I don't really know what I would say. Worst. Williams.
You love Williams.
I know, but it was terrible. And probably Antoine Hubert's death. I know it's Formula 2, but that was pretty dark.
Yes.
That's probably the one that sticks out when you said worst moment, that whole situation.
I think
it's the picture of his mum when she's holding his helmet and stuff. No thanks.
That Sunday was just like, even though I wasn't there, it was hard to sort of.
Yeah.
Like,
so I would probably say that any moment that something like that happens, no matter. And I have to say they do try and make it as safe as possible. We know there's always risks, but they work really hard at making it as safe as possible. They do, but yeah, it's never nice.
They should be announcing the findings of that crash soon.
Oh, really?
Because they were meant to announce it on the 4th of December at a meeting, and then they pushed it back. So I'd assume they've got most of it done. The track there as well. You can't really do much with the track at that point.
No.
There's only so much they can do.
Has to do something.
Yeah, and we obviously don't know the full ins and outs yet of, was it a puncture on a Lacey's car? Blah, blah, blah. We don't know. We're not going to speculate until.
Yeah, exactly. See what happens.
See what they say. But yeah, that was also a dark point. So Williams, not a good season for you.
Well, I don't know. So, I mean, George Russell has come out of it very, very well. I would probably argue it'd be tough, but he probably best new Brit over Lando Norris.
Yeah,
maybe I'm biased.
No,
it'd be close. I mean, I could hear arguments for both because I feel like Lando Norris has got better, but I think Russell has driven in a car that's as slow as a milk float and still come out on top.
Yes, he has. He said it was a hard challenge to beat Kubica in qualifying.
Really? He beat him 21-0, didn't he?
Exactly. Yeah.
He beat him for naught. But yeah, I you know what? I'm glad that Kubica's gone, and I think he knew, even though Williams' car wasn't going to help his last year. I mean, he did try. I think it showed that he's just not as good, as he used to be. I think he's a shadow of his old and very talented self. I don't want to knock Robert Kubica, but it's just I think he's outstayed his welcome. So it's good to see him gone, but he'll go with respect.
Yes,
But yeah, from Williams' point of view, I mean, the car needs some awful work. Like, it's slow. But for George Russell to come out as highly rated as he has, and the fact that we've managed to get him back, so
yes,
he's exciting times. I'm quite excited to see what this new kid can do. We've got the only new kid on the board, so was it Latifi? Yeah, I'm quite excited to see what he done. He did all right in Formula 2, so. And
he also brings cash with him.
Cash, which Williams so desperately need, obviously, in that car. Jesus.
Yes. You described it as a book float, so.
From a driver point of view, if we can give them something competitive, at least, from a driver point of view, they should be okay. And he's the only new driver on the grid, isn't he, Latifi?
Yeah, well, Ocon's already driven, so yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And the kid that's at Alfa Romeo is a Ferrari product, isn't he? Yeah.
Because he's done a season 8, so.
Yeah. So, okay, yeah.
Well, Kibitz done all right for himself, isn't he? If the rumours are true. Is he going to Alpha as a test driver?
Oh, he's going to be a test driver at Alpha. Oh, okay.
I think it's Alpha. I could be wrong. Don't knock me if I'm wrong. I think it's.
I thought he was retiring.
No, I think it's either them or Sauber, but I'm sure not Sauber. Sorry, Alpha. But okay. I think Haas. Wasn't it Haas?
Ah, okay.
One of those two. One of those two teams. It will be probably announced soon.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, it's been a disappointing season. But yeah.
Favorite race of the season?
Oh, Germany. I mean, I gotta give props to the Brazilian race. Yep. Really enjoyed that. But the German one was drama and comedy all in one, wasn't it?
Yeah. I have to agree with you.
It was like watching Laurel and Hardy on a Grand Prix track. I mean, Hamilton spinning off twice and then retiring. Bottas crashed, and then the fist slam from Mr. Wolf. Just mad. Like,
Hamilton did get points
and then the pit stop, weren't it? Like, people not ready for Hamilton's pit stop. I mean, the whole thing in the rain, let alone being rain, the whole race was a mess. 50-second, what was it? A 50-second, 1 minute pit stop for Mercedes. Like,
yeah, they weren't expecting him in. They were. Let's be fair. They
weren't. There was tires being ferried in and out.
It was just like last minute. Yeah.
And the guy hurt his back as well when he got injured. But yeah, it was. That's got to be the race. But from a race point of view, Brazil has to get a mention.
Worst
the Brazilian race was great.
Worst race of the season.
Oof. For me, it started like really boring.
Yeah.
So you could pick any of the beginning ones. Maybe Azerbaijan. I'm thinking that was quite dull.
We didn't say Monaco. I'm surprised.
Monaco was like the first race where Mercedes went 1 and 2. That's the only reason that I haven't picked that. Wasn't it? Like, it was like Mercedes had been like 1-2 for every race up until that, I think, or it felt like it. And then Monaco, someone comes second. And I feel like after that, the problem is, it's like every year, it takes 6 or 7 races for the other team to even compete with Mercedes.
Yeah.
By the middle of it, like come the Canadian and stuff, people were pushing them, and then the Austrian, they got whooped, didn't they? And then it started to be a bit more of a competition. But by then they were already 6 races ahead. I mean, they were 1-2 for the first 5 races. I mean, it's too much, you just set yourself such a big gap.
Yeah. Do you think the budget cap then in 2021 will help teams, say Williams and Haas?
Maybe not straight away, but I think long term, yes.
I think that the bigger 3 teams, as they're known, will spend a proportion of their budget this season on next year's car, so they can get an advantage. On 2021 car, sorry, so they can get an advantage.
Yeah.
So then they can get away with it then, can't they? They can get away with the budget cap then, can't they?
And they can then push another year or 2 out of it.
Yeah, so they'll be in front then in 2021. So we said best race, worst race. What is your best race of the decade?
My race of the decade?
Oh. Yeah, I know. Hard questions, I tell you.
Can I be biased?
You can say whatever you like.
The Spanish Grand Prix in 2012 when Maldonado won.
Lord Maldonado. As
Yeah.
somebody called him the other day, Lord Maldonado.
As if he ever won a race.
He wins a race, and Hulkenberg never wins a race. I mean, there's something wrong with the world there.
Right, to be fair, yeah, but yeah, I would say, and maybe no, wait, for the decade, what's the race that Button come back?
Canada 2011.
There you go. Yeah, maybe that one.
Yeah, there was a
maybe
there
that
was, there was a I think
What was the one where Vettel ignored all the team orders? Like,
what, this year?
No, was it Malaysia sometime?
Yes,
Malaysia.
Yeah, Malaysia, wasn't it? Malaysia.
That was good.
Him and Webber.
Yeah. I think Button though. I think that wet race comeback. Actually, I mean Maldonado would be up there for me because being a Williams guy and Maldonado winning a race, and it was a good win. Like it was a good race. But no, probably Buttons. Yeah, that Canadian Grand Prix. Yeah.
Are you definitely settled on a choice now?
I don't know. What was the one with Singapore like in 2018? Hamilton's like epic pole position. Yeah, maybe no Button. I'm Button. Button.
I'm gonna sit here for another 5 minutes. You just keep picking.
The wet race. The wet race.
The wet race.
Yeah, I would say that was great to watch. That was fun to watch.
Final answer?
Yes.
Done.
For the decade, yeah.
Okay. So I think somebody else mentioned that on Twitter, and then somebody put Germany 2019, which is a fair shout.
I think Germany probably it was so different.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make it a great race. It was just something that we haven't seen in Formula One for a long, long time.
Exactly.
You know, you're going to remember watching that, you know?
All the teams had no data, so it was just
a mess.
Yeah.
Like it was just a complete sideshow, you know? And from everyone. It's not even like one team, you know? So.
And that's what we need.
Yeah, we want to see more of that a little bit, and hopefully the budget cut will help it. But as you say, like there's probably ways around it that aren't going to help. So,
I was going to say somebody else mentioned Brazil 2012 as a race of the decade.
Which one was that?
That was the one where Hulkenberg was in the lead, and he made that move on Hamilton, didn't he, and crashed out in turn one.
Ah, yeah. Other than that moment, it wasn't really much else. But I can see, I suppose.
He got pole, didn't he? Was it pole with a racing point or Sauber or something at that race? Or am I thinking something else? I don't know.
No, maybe.
But yeah. So somebody said that. There's people voting for everything everywhere. So, what do you hope for next year then?
What do I hope for next year? Just a bit more competition. Maybe just like guys like Verstappen just like rein it in a little bit and use the talent instead of the controversy that follows him. Like he's clearly a talented racer. He just that composure seems to go, you know, like he could be a lot better if he reins it in a bit.
Do you think he had a good season this year though? Do you think he had a good year?
I would say he's probably second to driver of the year to Hamilton. I would assume.
Yeah, He's driven a lot better this year. I've said this on many podcasts this season. He's driven a lot better. He's had a hint of the former him come through, but he's learned, hasn't he? He's learned from last year, and I think if he carries on, then yes, he will be up there as a world champion.
Yeah, I think so. Just as long as Red Bull keep their focus, then they've got the driver to do it. I think they've got the drivers. I think. Albon is a great driver too.
Here's a stat for you on Albon. Albon was 0.411 seconds slower than Max in sort of qualifying trim or whatever, thanks to Sky, so I could be wrong. And Gasly was only 0.006 of a second slower than Albon in the same car.
Gasly's a terrible driver.
You can't say that about Gasly.
I can. He was terrible, man. Who gets sacked halfway through a season?
Well, he was promised, wasn't he? He was promised that he'd be in that seat for the whole season.
But he was awful. You couldn't keep him in there. The man's got like the turning capabilities of a turtle.
He's bad. I've just got images.
They
of
made the
Mario
right
Kart
choice.
now.
Alex Albon is a much better driver.
I just had images of Mario Kart in my head then when you said turtle. And it was just that was all in my head.
Well, he gets to prove if we were wrong or right, then he at Toro Rosso next year. So
he's done all right since he went
Alpha.
back.
Well, they're changing their name, aren't they? Alpha Tori or something in it.
I'm just gonna.
Is that
I'm
right?
just gonna. Yeah, that's right.
Toro Rosso though.
I'm just gonna call it Sid Meier's thingy. Sid Meier. There's a game in there called Sid Meier's Alpha Tori. That's what I'm just gonna call them from now on. That's gonna be my name to them.
I mean, to be fair, from a potential point of view and how highly rated, Kyver and Gasly are good drivers for them to have.
Yeah.
It's just if Gasly can be better, let's just see. Maybe he needed to go down to come back up, but we'll see. And Kyver's a very good driver, so.
I think he's done all right since he's gone back. Oh, Gasly. He's done all right since he's gone. He's got his podium. Outdragged a Mercedes to the line in Brazil.
He's still terrible.
That was more car than engine, let's be honest. But, you know. Yeah, well, driver, car, more than engine. There's only 2 teams have changed their lineup for next year. With
quite a lot
Williams,
stayed,
Williams and Renault, the only 2 teams to have changed their lineup. Is that going to be a hindrance, do you think, or do you think that will?
No, because like when you see who they are, you know, Perez and Stroll have done very well at Racing Point. Which is you know, they took that, they look solid, so it's clever for them. I can't, you know, the bromance between, who is it? Norris and Sainz? No, who is
Sainz? Yeah, Norris and Sainz, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a little bromance in it. That they're doing fine. It was good to see McLaren sort of. That was a good year for McLaren, you know. And this is the first car in it under James Key in it this year.
Next year.
Next year. So
he had a bit of he didn't design it at the start of the year. I think he joined sort of.
It's originated, isn't it? Isn't that what they called it? Is it?
No, I don't know because I don't know when he came out of gardening leave.
But it'd be interesting to see because it showed a little bit of stability at McLaren last year, I think.
Yeah.
And so keeping with those two very talented drivers,
yes.
It should be a good year for McLaren. Hopefully they can push a little bit on, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think the ones that have stayed together, it makes sense because they didn't really do anything wrong.
Yeah.
They did about as well as they could in the cars that they had, you know. Yeah. So if you can get them slightly better car, then there was no need to change. I am surprised, as much as we joked about it in the last one, I am surprised that Hülkenberg hasn't got a seat.
Yes.
I am surprised at that.
I'm surprised.
I was expecting him to end up at Williams. I really was.
Okay.
And I was hating it, but I was expecting that.
Yeah.
And then I was expecting, was it Haas were talking to him as well, I think?
Yeah. Yes, they were, yeah.
That didn't happen. And after that, there wasn't really anyone left, was there? You know, if they weren't gonna split up that Haas team, which I'm surprised that they didn't split them up. What's this? 4 years? Those two now?
I think so. Yeah, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. So, I was surprised. I was expecting them to make a change, but again, I understand why they haven't. They haven't really done anything wrong at Haas, have they, Roman or Kevin? They've not done anything wrong
apart from hit each other.
Well, yeah, but Ferrari have done that too.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah, so that's
several times.
Yes. So that's very much
yeah. But I am surprised he hasn't got a seat. I am surprised.
Did you not see his interview that he asked Martin Brundle to do at Brazil?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, he asked Martin Brundle to do an interview with him to Brazil, and he said that him going to Williams, he isn't the driver that Williams needed at the time, which is why he didn't end up with a seat. He ruled himself out because obviously they don't have the money, do they, to sign him?
No, but I kind of was like him and Russell would have been a good one too, and I assumed after Kubica Russell that Hülkenberg would slot that in if he was desperate, but obviously not. And IndyCar have shut the door on him too, haven't they? He's literally got nothing.
Nothing yet. I reckon he'll be back in F1 in 2021.
It's going to be tough because be a year older and there's a lot of young guys in good seats now.
Yes.
But
he won his F3 title and F2 title under, I always get his name wrong, under Frank Vasseur. I always say Fred Vasseur. So I could see, if Kimi retires, I could see Hülkenberg getting that seat.
Yeah, because what Kimi's now like 41, 42.
Yeah, 41. Yeah, so
I mean, he's an old man, but
he can
yeah,
still drive
maybe
quick, can't he, Kimmy? He can still drive
he
quick.
can. He still knows what he's doing. He still knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So yeah, I Hulkenberg was one of those enigmas. He had more talent than maybe we got to see.
Maybe. I mean, I was maybe a little bit surprised too that there was no sort of fuel to the Renault thing, but obviously they wanted to go with Ocon, didn't they? So yeah, I don't know.
They just wanted a French driver in that.
To be fair, I mean, if you had the choice, you probably would pick Ocon over anyone else. He deserves a seat. He's been the reserve driver only last year, so
I would have stuck with Hulkenberg.
I wouldn't. It's time for a change. He's an old man, and plus they got Ricardo. Like, you kind of want someone to sort of help push him along. The star's got to be Ricardo in it. So.
Yeah, well, Ricardo's out of contracts for 2021, so
he is. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of drivers.
See how far Renault push this year. I suppose will be his.
Yeah,
will be his thing. See how good a car he gets.
Don't talk to me about Renault.
Right.
Because I'm a Renault fan. And on previous,
you liking Ocon there?
On previous podcasts, I have said what the problem is, and I'm not going to use this to sort of bitch about it again.
Bring it up.
No.
That's why I have to be nice to Leclerc. He proved me very wrong, didn't he?
Oh, so I don't know if you're aware.
But in defense of him, it helped him that Vettel had such a crap season.
Yeah. But was that
Vettel
the car though? Was that because of the car though for Vettel?
No, I think it was Vettel.
You think it was Vettel?
Yeah, I do. I don't. Yeah, like what was where he drove into him? Was it Italy? No, like how he performed at Italy. Like, there's not many rules and regulations for a Ferrari driver. Messing up Italy is one of them. You know?
Yeah.
That's pretty much the main rule: is do not mess up in Italy. Like that, if every other race is garbage, Italy can't be. And I mean, you see how bad he was. Like,
they needed to win Italy, didn't they, Ferrari? It was the one track they wanted to win.
And what did he do? Like, can you imagine? I can imagine driving instructors sitting there screaming like mirror signal maneuver. Nah, just drive out and crash into someone, and then swerve to, even you have to swerve to avoid Gasly, who's chugging along. Like, it was terrible, and that was not car. That was all Vettel.
Oh yeah, Stroll nearly hit Gasly, didn't he? That's why he got his penalty.
And it just, I think Vettel imploded. I mean, and it made it look like Ferrari were imploding. You know, it was just bad. I mean, when Vettel wasn't happy, where was it? At Interlagos, when Leclerc overtook him, and then he hit the DRS and just crashed into him. Suspension went, and oh my God, it was. I know the stewards ruled it as a racing incident, but it wasn't. That was Vettel sulking that he was getting his ass whooped.
I think they should have pitted both of them under those safety cars in Brazil. Then there wouldn't have been an issue, would there? It would have been whoever had the better talent would have finished higher up, wouldn't they? Then.
Well, I think they're realising now. I think I think Leclerc is the number one.
Well, he's just signed a new. What did you get him for Christmas, Charles Leclerc? You get him a new deal from Ferrari.
Yep.
So
and I understand that he earned that. He earned that. He took advantage of the fact that there was, things going on obviously with Vettel. But yeah, I think for Vettel, I think I would consider time to retire almost. I don't think he's enjoying it anymore.
I know he loves the sport, doesn't he? But I just don't think he's maybe enjoying the environment of Ferrari. Maybe. It's not been a very nice environment for him when he's been there for the last 5 years now.
I don't know, but you don't sulk, do you?
We all sulk at some point, mate.
Like a sulking. Yeah, but he can't.
I know he can't.
He has responsibility. Like me and you going into work sulking for the day is very different to him crashing into Leclerc because he overtook him. Like, I just think that isn't car, that isn't bad atmosphere. That's just him being a child. And I think that's the issue.
I think some people do sulk on FM, mate. Do you know what I mean? If they lose, they just sulk about it, don't they?
Yeah, it was a lot. There was a lot of it this season. Like, he changed the numbers that time in Germany.
Yeah,
he drove into Stroll. He crashed into Leclerc. There was loads. There was too many for it to be him just having a bad day, you know?
Yeah. So
I mean, it's just shocking to come from a driver so experienced. Like he's been there, seen it, done it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think he just sometimes the red mist descends on him, like Italy last year when he tried to go down the inside of Hamilton and he spun out. It's as if he thinks I've got to get the move done on the first lap, and he doesn't think if I just sit here for a lap or two and then charge, or do you mean?
Yeah. Well, like in Italy, he was under no pressure from anybody, and he spun. You know, that chicane.
Yeah.
And that's then how he tried to rejoin the track. I mean, he's raced a long time. He's not a rookie, you know. And yeah, so I don't know.
You don't know. Who do you think is the team to catch next year then? In 2020, you still think Mercedes?
Yeah.
You don't think you've got enough from Ferrari to think that they would be the number one team to catch them?
If they can get Vettel's head on straight, you can always think Ferrari will give it a go.
Yeah.
It depends which Vettel turns up. I mean, in Leclerc, I think Leclerc will push him a lot closer this year. But yeah, of course Ferrari can. They always have the capabilities of doing that. But I think at the moment, no, it'd be Mercedes to lose.
Mercedes to lose. See, I think Ferrari, they just need to improve their race pace, don't they? That's the thing. If they improve their race pace. Yeah. That's the thing they were towards the end of the year.
It's a bit more like a team, you know, across the board. You know, we're not just talking like Vettel and Leclerc battling. You know, they need to act more like a team across the board. You know, like Bottas and Hamilton have battled at times, but you don't see any of the stuff like, you know, as a team, they need to just a bit more togetherness. And I think they could be challengers. They
need to just go, you're on number one, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? You lead the team.
Exactly. Like, who is their number one? Like, there's been so many doubts. You would think it's Leclerc now. So
yeah.
Well, what do you do with someone like Vettel as a number two? Like,
well, I think that with him being number two, the pressure's off him now. If they can get a car that suits his style, and like you say, if he keeps his head on, you know, he can be up there again. He can still be up there. He can still win races. He's still got pace. He's still got speed, hasn't he? You know what I mean? It's just whether he can stop making those mistakes and the car maybe suits his style maybe a little bit.
Maybe.
You know? If not, where does he end up in 2021? Who knows?
Renault. Ricardo's place.
I tell you what, I don't know. I don't know if he would go to Renault because he lives in Switzerland, doesn't he? It's a bit far of a trek for him to go, isn't it?
There isn't really anyone. Well, like, to be honest, like that could probably afford him or is ready to make that next push, you know, like for Vettel.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It all depends.
If Hamilton, I think if Hamilton wins, I would assume Hamilton may consider retiring.
Yeah.
Potentially. Yeah. If he can win again, he's got to be close. I mean, what was he wrote last year when he was like felt like giving up on everything? Do you remember that tweet? Was it a tweet?
Yes, he. No, was that this year or last year? Was it
October-ish? It was before. No, it was this year. When it was before Christmas, so it wasn't so long ago.
He said about. Yeah, he said. Yeah, I remember that tweet. He deleted it off.
Something about. Yeah, Instagram. He deleted it. Like I feel like giving up on everything. Think of those who give a damn about the world or something. Didn't he say it was something about? Yeah, something else. But yeah,
it's him. But it's him being a vegan, isn't it? And
the world is such a mess. Yeah, but it seemed a weird way to write about veganism, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think if he gets another win, I think he'll consider retiring.
You don't think he'll go to maybe bikes or anything like that then?
Oh, maybe, but I don't think he'll race. But we have to see.
You don't even think he'll go to Ferrari then?
No. I don't think Hamilton will race for another team.
Well, he loves Ferrari. Well, he likes Ferrari, doesn't he? And he did drive. He drove to Kevin Hart's 40th birthday party in a customized Ferrari.
Yeah, I think he's at an age where another challenge just isn't going to be for him.
He could end up at Ferrari. We don't know, do we? Till next year, we don't know what teams are going to be up there.
Well, we thought there'd be a load of moves now, and only two teams have got different driver.
Yeah,
and only one driver, you know. So
yeah, and that was Latifi. I can't even say his name. Latifi at Williams. Yes. So you think Mercedes are the team to beat? Who do you think is going to be at the back of the grid then for next year? I like that. Just try Williams.
Yeah, we'll still be there.
Do you think that's because I don't
think we're ready.
Yeah, do you not think that because they don't do a lot of R&D work?
I think we'll be better. Well, I think maybe because I'm biased and stupid. But no, we've still got some catching up to do on the teams around us.
So would you, if there was a chance of, say, somebody buying, or investing in them, would you say to Frank and Claire, let the investment come in? If there's money there, or would you say sell the team maybe, or would you just want the investment?
Just the investment. Yeah, need it.
Need it back.
Yeah. Oh, desperately.
But look at Racing Point. They've got all this investment. They've spent all this money, and then in 2021, half the stuff they won't better use.
Yeah. Yeah. So desperately if they can, because it's going badly, isn't it?
This is an advertisement for Williams F1. If anybody wants to, if anybody's got any money,
yeah, please go and put some money into them.
There we go. Yeah. So, do you think it will be then? Do you think the order will be, say, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull as a top three, or do you think it'll be?
I think that will be the top three again. I don't think the other teams are there. I honestly think, looking at the reliability that has stepped in, McLaren are going to be closer to the top three. I do, and I mean, I think they'll be close. And I am expecting good things from Renault and Toro Rosso, just for the drivers. But yeah, I think McLaren would be the only ones that could potentially push them.
Oh God, I was just seeing somewhere. Mercedes spent about on development and all that about 150 million or more than that, and you compare that to, say, Renault, who only spent like 80 million. Do you know what I mean? Or 90 million. So you can tell the golf, can't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And 100%. staff as well. Do you know what I mean? So, maybe the budget cap will be a good thing. They have said, haven't they, that if Ross Brawn did say that if anybody's caught breaking the budget cap, the team will be disqualified from the championship. So it's not like it's going to be, it's just here for the, you're going to get a fine. It's a serious case of, even if you go a penny over, you could be kicked out of the championship.
Wow.
So yeah. Okay, who do you think is going to be best in midfield then?
Best in midfield.
Do you think it'll be McLaren?
I think they'll be top of the next bunch.
Yeah.
I'm assuming McLaren to be fourth.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, they finished fourth last year, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm assuming them to be fourth again. I think we would expect a little bit more from Racing Point and Alfa Romeo. I think they would expect more as a team.
Yeah.
But as I say, I think it will be that battle for around the fourth mark between McLaren, Renault, and Toro Rosso again. But I would expect more from Racing Point, 100%.
Pressure on Racing Point from you.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. They've got good drivers. Yeah. They're not skint. Do you know what I mean? The Perez and Stroll have now spent a year together, and I mean Perez has spent 7 years in total in various fucking forms. Like you would expect something now,
He's got a drive for life though, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean he's been at the Silverstone set up for God knows how long. So you would expect something from them. Like Lance Stroll is a really good driver. Perez is part of the furniture. So you would expect that kind of setup to push a little bit more, Yeah. Like they shouldn't be finishing below Toro Rosso, I think. And I don't think they would expect to. So wherever Toro Rosso finish, you would expect Racing Point to be there or thereabouts. Right. So,
okay.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, that sort of battle. But I think if McLaren can build on how they ended, they'll probably be the top of that, like the fourth. And then I think it'll be a battle. But yeah, I would expect more from Racing Point. I think if you look last year, Racing Point, it would be considered a poor season, for their setup.
I was going to say, because Lando Norris was saying about the McLaren car, it was a bit of a quirky one because it was always quick in qualifying, and in the race towards the end of the season, it would just struggle a little bit. But that Toro Rosso, with nobody developing in it, no designer, seemed to just come out of nowhere like a rocket ship, didn't it? To be honest.
Mm.
But that
No,
midfield.
I just think the whole way McLaren have sort of set up. I mean, they were the first to announce their drivers, weren't it? So the conversation of silly season was never including anyone at McLaren, and they seem to genuinely get on as drivers. Yeah, I just think
Do you think those two will still get on if they're fighting for podiums?
Well, you have to see.
I'm just playing devil's advocate there. Do you know what I mean?
And Norris is a rookie. He's going to develop his own attitude towards the sport. So at the moment it works, but no, I think Norris is ambitious. So we'll have to see. I mean, because Carlos has been around a little bit now. You want to see a little bit more from him as well. So we'll have to see. It's a big year for McLaren after sort of winning some people back last year.
Yeah.
I can imagine that they announced early because teams would have been sniffing around those two.
Yeah.
I can imagine coming into silly season. I would imagine teams were finding out if they would be available.
Probably more looking at Norris maybe than
I would
Carlos
either.
possibly. Yeah. I'm not saying that nasty way.
To be fair,
I would say that nasty
Carlos
way.
Sainz is a good. Yeah, teams were unhappy with their drivers at points of last year. I think a conversation for either. You'd probably ask, is Lando available? No. Is Carlos available? You'd probably say that. Yeah. You'd take either of them. Carlos probably a second choice, but you would have taken either of them. You know.
Nothing against Carlos there. Nothing against Carlos, but I think because Lando's age, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's more mileage in him. Do you know what I mean? Because he's like 19, 20, isn't he? So he's got 10. He's got a good 10, 15 years in the sport.
The one, I think, but from speaking of silly season, I think the one that surprised me most was Bottas re-signing.
Did you think Ocon was going to then? Do you?
I thought he was going to go, and I thought Ocon was going to take that seat. That's what I thought. Unless they've signed him because they're taking George Russell next year or Verstappen, unless they've got a plan,
Mercedes have about 5 plans, let's be fair.
They've got a plan, Russell would probably be plan 1.
Yeah.
Another year at Williams, and if he gets as much sort of praise out of the car that he's driving, he would have had 2 years under his belt. He's had a very good rookie season in a very poor car. Maybe Russell would be a better fit with Hamilton than Ocon, maybe.
And Russell's looked good when he's been testing.
Russell's probably young enough to, but yeah.
And as I said, Mercedes, Russell's looked good when he's been doing testing for Mercedes. So
yeah.
But
they're going to go big in Verstappen, or they don't like any of the proposed regulation changes, and Mercedes just signed Bottas because they're going to shut down.
You're coming up with some good theories here. Do you know what I mean? Good theories here. So theory number 1 is they're going to go for Verstappen and George Russell as a lineup potentially. Then they're going to lead the sport.
Yeah, well, they don't like the salary cap thing, do they? Or the spending cap? They're not fans of it.
I don't think the top 3 teams are, to be fair.
So,
but
why not?
It's more to save themselves as well.
What else have they got to prove? They've already won everything, so shut it down.
They just want the
doomsday.
They just want all the records, don't they? Mercedes.
Yeah.
Maybe they could sell on, couldn't they? Because they've now gone into Formula E, haven't they?
Yeah.
And they got their first win, didn't they? As well.
Because it just seems funny to keep Bottas.
Yeah. For
me, it seemed funny. That was an opportunity to make a change, maybe start to groom Hamilton's successor, stuff like that. Like Ocon and Russell, they could have got. As his number 2 for a year. Perfect for them. Maybe Russell would be a better fit because maybe Ocon is probably more ambitious, so probably wouldn't be such a good number 2. Do you know what I mean? But either of them, it just seemed a strange one to me for them to trigger the extension. So.
But to be a number 1, you've got to show that you can be a good team player as well. So you'd have to start off as a number 2 and then put the performances in to show that you're worthy enough to be,
It was a perfect opportunity to bring someone in, and they didn't do it, and I was just surprised, And
then they let Ocon go on loan to Renault for 2 years, and they can't recall him at any point. He has nothing to do with Mercedes anymore, and Renault and Mercedes have an option on Ocon after those 2 years.
So Okan's going to be option number 3.
So
But I think it will be one of those 3. Like, I do honestly think like Bottas will go, and the replacement will be either Verstappen, Okan, or Russell, or they'll just shut it down.
I'm going to be devil's advocate now for you. What happens if, say, Hamilton goes to Ferrari or leaves the sport, and they want to get rid of Bottas? Which 2 do they get in?
Verstappen and Russell.
You think Verstappen and Russell?
But I think if Hamilton's not there, 100% Verstappen takes that McLaren seat.
McLaren seat?
I think. No, Mercedes seat. Sorry, takes the Mercedes seat. 100%.
I mean, if they
there's
do
no
leave
Hamilton,
if they leave in 2021, then it would be a McLaren seat, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But we don't know. I think that I've said this before. I think Mercedes may leave because they've won everything. They've got most of their records.
Exactly. So what is the point in them learning a whole new way of doing it? You know, when they've dominated so long, like it wouldn't be great for the sport, but it makes business sense. You know, why would they want to dumb themselves down? Pretty much is what this is doing, is dumbing them down to everyone else's level. Why would they do that when they've built something so powerful? You know,
and the new CEO, he's a fan of electric, so you know they could. If they sell it off, they could transfer some of the stuff across to their Formula E team, maybe, and try and dominate that for years to come.
But yeah, it just becomes stronger in my head that they were going to do that by re-signing Bottas for me.
Yeah, I think that Ocon won't drive for Mercedes.
I don't think there'll be a Mercedes in 2 years.
Sorry, Ocon. I have seen the video. I have seen his.
But he's a good driver. If you're a Renault fan, like you've got 2 very good drivers. Like,
Renault did put some videos out over the Christmas period. They had the little like meal with loads of people in Paris when he was announced, and he did a sort of day where he's signing people's shirts and stuff like that, and cars and bits and bobs. Then they showed you him driving off in his new Renault car. Wow. So. There you go. The power of the Renault car. Let's lower him. Let's lower him across.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree with you. I think that Ocon won't drive a Mercedes. I don't think he'll drive a Mercedes.
No, I don't think so. I think Russell would be a better choice for them anyway.
Yeah.
If they were going somewhere else, Russell is the better choice.
Yeah. If they don't go anywhere, Russell. So who do you think is going to win the title next year?
Mercedes.
No, the Drivers' Championship. Sorry, I should have said
Hamilton.
You think Hamilton again?
Yeah.
Second?
Leclerc.
Ooh. Number 3?
Bottas, because I don't think the others are there yet. And then Verstappen. Maybe Verstappen third, then Bottas.
Okay, so that's your top 4. Verstappen third, Bottas fourth, yeah?
Yeah.
We'll hold you to that.
Remind me.
The people that watch this on YouTube.
Come and tell me. Yeah, come and tell me.
Go and watch Darry in his streams when he's playing Minion Masters.
Yeah. And tell me all about how amazing Russell and Latifi are. That's all I want to know.
He'll make you money if you do that.
Yeah.
No.
I think that would be the top 4. I think it's pretty standard. I think there will be. I hope that there's teams still pushing a bit more. So, you know, and to be honest, like I am interested to see, you know, Latifi racing. I think he's a really good driver. You know. Yeah. So I'm quite happy with that. And he's done quite a lot of work with Williams, so he's already got a lot of backing like from behind the scenes and stuff. So I think I think hopefully the plan is obviously that Russell's going to go at the end of this year. To get him back this year, I think is a plus. And then Latifi can sort of fill in that role, and we'll see what happens then after that. I
thought he was signed on a multi-year deal for Williams. So I thought two or 3 year deal, isn't it really?
Yeah, but we'll see. I'd be surprised if he's there another year, because he's a very good driver. Like somehow managed to keep that car looking like it was almost respectable, you know?
Yeah. No, I think
Haas is the test team for Kubica.
Haas, see, there you go.
Apparently. None of them have actually been confirmed, have they? The test guys?
No, nothing's been confirmed yet. But I think that I think what upset Williams was the fact that Mercedes took Bottas quite late in the season. I think that's what upset them, their friendship or working relationship, so to speak.
Mm.
Oh no! And I think keeping thingy for 2 years would help them, wouldn't it? I suppose having him for 2 years helps them. I'm just seeing if there's any news in a minute.
No, I suppose. What about the new races?
Two new races. Yeah. Well, you've got
Vietnam. I'm looking forward to Vietnam.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think that's a street circuit, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And then the Dutch is back.
The Dutch is back. Have you seen the banking for the Zandvoort last corner?
No.
It has. If you think of Indianapolis, when you
looking at a picture now.
Yeah, it's got worse banking than some of the tracks in America, and it looks really good. So
wow, it does look really good actually. It looks like a good track.
I'm hoping apparently that it's going to be a bit wider as well. I did a virtual tour of the track, and it looked quite narrow, but I think the rumour is it's going to be a bit wider than what it shows. So hopefully there's some overtaking.
Yeah, hopefully.
The last thing we want is
more boring races.
Yeah, but I mean, like Monaco, you know that's going to be a boring race. Let's be fair.
Yeah, but it's Monaco, isn't it? There's always something because someone always tries it. But yeah, Monaco's Monaco, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what you get with that.
Yeah. If there's anywhere in the world that you'd like to take F1 or have been, where would you go? Where would you take them? Which country?
Oh, it's already there. Like, I think, I don't know. Where would I put it? Where could we put? There isn't really anywhere missing. Like, if you look at them, it covers pretty much everywhere.
You won't go to Africa or anything like that then?
No, I don't think so. Maybe South Africa.
Well, we've been to South Africa before, haven't we?
Yeah, so maybe go back. That'd be the only one. Like, where else could you go?
Well, that was a rumour, wasn't it? They were going to go back there, and they were on about going to
do that.
Morocco or Tunisia.
Yeah, you could see something like that, Moroccan or a Tunisian something. You could see that, but that's probably from business point of view, you know. But yeah, probably go back to South Africa. Go get the South African one back on there.
How many races would you be happy with in a season?
25.
You want 25? Would you be happy with the fact they've only got 3 engines on the 25 races, or do you think they should have more engines?
More. They'll have to have more if there's more races, wouldn't they? Like that wouldn't be right. I would up it if they up it to 25. Give them 5, so it's like 5 races. You know.
That I was just about to say. I would say about 5 engines to be fair.
Yeah, if there's 25 races, 5 engines, and then it's 5 races per engine, you get the best out of it that you can. Yeah. So, but yeah, I would say 25. I wouldn't have more than that because it starts to get silly. I mean, what is it now? 22.
22. Yeah, 22.
So yeah, I would get another 3. You'd be okay.
3 engines because they've got the all the other engine parts now.
I mean, I'm surprised that they've kept it at 3 with 22 races. I mean, it's like 7 and a bit races that engine's got to go through. You know.
But they've
That's a lot.
One of the parts, haven't they? Because it was only like you can only have 2 parts, but now everything else is 3. So they've upped everything now, all the engine and all the components. You can have 3 in a season before you start taking penalties. So teams will probably will take penalties again, won't they?
Yeah.
But yeah. So is there anything from you? Anything else you want to talk about in the last couple of minutes?
No, I'm going to Hungary. I'm going to the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Well, that's a bit of a bubble shot to drop in it.
Yeah,
right.
It's my favourite. It's my favourite. It'll be the 3rd time I've gone.
Are you tenting it? Are you staying in a hotel or?
Hotel, of course. What did you take me for?
I am no scrubber. I do not
tenting it. How dare you? Do you know what I mean? Oh my god! I may even get the helicopter transfer now just to spite you.
I just want pictures of you and this helicopter transfer now. Just go, look at me. Look at me.
Yeah, I might do that. I might book it. Yeah, no, I'm going. I'm going inclusive too. I'm actually spending quite a bit of money to go to Hungary for that long weekend. So.
But you are a rich man. You shouldn't say that.
No, I book one extravagant thing a year. Last year was like 2 weeks in this Spanish thing with my family.
Yeah.
Now this year is all about me. I'm going 4 nights in Budapest. I'm arriving on the Thursday from Gatwick, and I'm doing a city tour. I'm doing the track. I bought the whole package. It's like just under $1,000, but it's good.
There you go, people. There you go, Mr. DarryLips, Hungary.
Do the fully inclusive package. It's like 960 quid.
Yeah.
For me, that's cheap. You know, I'm staying in the Zara. I'm flying. It's cheap. And Budapest is a beautiful country.
I'm looking to go to Silverstone this year.
I'm gonna look at that helicopter transfer now just to spite you. Telling me Daryl with a tent. What do I look like? Dame to you?
I was just about to say Dame.
Goodness me. Daryl with a tent, as if.
Dame FM. If you watch Dame FM, just say the word tent to him. He'll understand it all.
He streams from a tent.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm going to Hungary, so end of July. So I'm excited for that.
I'm hoping to go to Silverstone this year.
Okay.
I mean, I did go past it a couple of years ago when Alonso. Remember in Q1 when Alonso got the quickest time because the track was dry and he went out on a set of dry tyres and he set the fastest time in Q1. That's what, 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I was walking past it. I was walking past, and I was on Facebook Live. As you do, and I could hear a cheer. Anyway, I said, "Look, I'm nearly at the end now." Stop the video live, and then my mate messaged me on Facebook and went, "The cheer was because Alonso went quickest in Q1." So it's like, thanks for telling us that. Yeah. A lot of things happened that day. I got doused in half a bottle of champagne.
Nice.
Yeah, I got to drink the other quarter of the bottle while at a corporate event. Now, that's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say because I'll get myself into trouble here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you need to be careful now.
I've got to be very careful. I could get my ass sued here, to be honest. So, yeah. So,
yeah, I'm looking forward to next season, though. Like, I will end on, I'm looking forward to next season because the top guys are getting older and the younger guys are getting better. So, I think next year there'll be some kind of breakout guys, like Hamilton is 34 now.
Yeah.
There's, when you think Norris, 19, Russell, 21, like the younger guys are getting better and the older guys are getting older. So I'm looking forward to next year because it's almost at that. I'm expecting the younger guys to really push next year, because they're at an age, they've got a season under their belt. All of these is like second year because no one's changed. So it's pretty much taking all that potential of last year and put it straight back, Everyone a year older, a bit more experience. Hamilton probably, yes, he's still very focused, but he is 34,
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to next year because I think next year will start to show who's going to break out of the pack and be like a big push when they change all the spending and that,
Hamilton's no spring chicken, is he?
No, exactly. And how much more does he want to do this? He's made his money.
He's got his other things, now, hasn't he? He's got his clothing line. And
he's never going to be out of work. He's always going to do appearances. He's one of our, one of Britain's best champions. Do you know what I mean? Like he's down in history.
Yeah.
And he's in the twilight of his career. So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
I mean,
anyway,
because he did show his brilliance last year, even at 34.
Yes, he did.
So,
thank you.
I'm looking forward to next year.
Well, thank you for spending your Saturday evening with me.
No problem. It's a pleasure as always. Let's just see. Gasly's going to be the one to prove me wrong now next year, isn't he? So next time I'm back, I'll have to be apologising to bloody Gasly like I did to Leclerc this time.
With his £9 million a year new contract, reportedly.
And I was like, sack him off.
Yeah, and you're like, just get rid of him. And then,
I have no problem though. Like Leclerc proved me very wrong. Like he stepped up when Ferrari needed someone to.
He did. Anyway, thank you. Do you want to promote yourself quickly?
Yeah, just hit DarryLips in any social media, add a 37 on Twitter. Come see me on Twitch. Maybe I should get F119. Maybe I should play it. I'm on YouTube too. All DarryLips. Just got Adder 37 to find me on Twitter. Come and mock me for being a Williams fan. It's fine. I can take it.
Join his Discord.
Yeah.
Join his Discord for the one section that we shouldn't really talk about on here.
Yes, there is a section. Any single men, come into my Discord, and there's a section just for you.
I can't believe we've just said that, but yeah, that's it.
Maybe edit that out. No.
Yeah. Leave it in.
Yeah, leave it. Yeah.
I'm not the one editing it, so it's not down to me, mate.
Fair enough.
Right. Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure. And
Thank you.
take care.
Take care, mate.